Hello everybody. Thanks for dropping in with me today. I'm working on a Halloween tea kettle and I thought I would just bring you along for a little while and show you what I'm doing. I do a lot of these. I do a lot of tea kettles, period. And this one is for Halloween. It's just really nice. And I'm doing this with a napkin. So I'm going to show you how I got this all the way around the tea kettle. Okay, see how pretty that one is? By the way, I'm Judy Mullins and my business is Vintage to Chic. If you're not a follower, I hope you'll subscribe and join us. Come along, share it, comment, whatever. That helps my business, helps me to grow. I'm starting with a napkin. When I find napkins that I like, I started this tea kettle design about 3 years ago probably, and I found these napkins which worked out super. And when I find a napkin I like, I usually buy 100 of them or maybe more sometimes. It's just according to whatever. Because so every year I go back and use, if it's something that can be used year after year, I go back and use it again. So I'm not sure they're available. You can look on Etsy or eBay or one of the channels and see if you can find them. Just put in Halloween napkins and look, you'll see. This is just how it's made. It's got a design on each side and then the middle of it. The middle of it I find I don't use. I used to save them and now I don't because I've accumulated so many I just trash them. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to take me a wet brush and I'm going to go down to each side of this napkin and take the sides out. Okay. Just using a little water. Come around there and then you just pull it out. Now I'll do that on both sides, but in the interest of time I've already got one started here, so I'm just going to lay the rest of that one aside and show you the next step of what I've done. After I got it both sides cut apart, I did this, took them apart, and I took them apart again this way. And I'm going to separate the sections here about where I know it will be easiest for me to put them back together. Don't want any rough ends, so I'm just going down the end first and fraying that a little bit so I won't have any straight edges on the end. Okay, then I'll come right in here in the middle and I'm going to divide it where I think it will be the easiest for me to connect it back together on my tea kettle. And I'm going to stack them up there just the way I'm taking them apart. So I'll know when I pick them up that this was the next one in the row on the napkin. Okay, I stack them up till I've got all of them, and I've got one down here that I've already cut apart. So this is the one I'm going to work with to show you to save time. Now I'm using Mod Podge, which is my go-to. I like it. I put a little water in it. It works for me, so there's no sense in using anything else. I put it in a little cup like this and put a little bit of water in it and mix it up to thin because it's way too thick when it comes out of the bottle. These tea kettles, you can find them at yard sales or wherever, or you can buy tea kettles new, whatever you like. But this one I have spray painted white using Rust-Oleum's 2-in-1, which is primer and paint all in one. And I sprayed the whole thing, and then I painted the spout here black, painted the knob and the handle. I painted all those with just solid black. So I've got just a white tea kettle to start with. Most of the time I start right here under the under the spout. I've got my brush up here in some water. Let me get that down here. And I should have a rag around here. Okay, clean my brush a little bit. Now I'm going to start with the first part of my napkin there. And like I said, usually I start right here. So I'm going to put that right there, right exactly where I want it to go. Then I'm going to separate my napkin, which I got to set that up. You got to take the plies down till you just have one ply of the napkin. Then I'm going to lay it down and see the straight edge of my napkin is going to go right around the straight of the bottom of my tea kettle. Put me a little bit of glue on there, just a little. Don't want that to be really wet because you get it real wet, your napkin will rip on you. So you want to be careful. It doesn't take but just a little bit of glue to glue a napkin down. After I lay it down there, I'm going to very lightly, working from the middle out, middle to the outside, glue that down good. All the way around. Now I am right-handed, so most of the time I work to the right. You do whatever's most comfortable for you. Then I'm going to take my next piece. Now see how big this piece is, so much taller that I am going to cut into it. I'm going to take my scissors, and on the top here I'm going to cut it into strips. Cut about 4 strips across there because my tea kettle has a bend in it, and to get it to lay down even, I need to cut that so that when I glue it on there, I can lay those strips right down. Now I'm ready to separate it. And I'm back to my project, back to here. Hold it up a little bit. Take my glue and put me a little bit of glue on there. And lay it down, join it right in with that napkin. Just about where I took it apart. If you press your bottom down first, just press that down first along the bottom and get that good and straight. Using my glue, and I'm working from the bottom up. Put the bottom down first. Then I'm going to go up here, and because this is cut in strips, it'll lay down 1 strip at a time and it will overlap. You can overlap them. Now this one is hard, very hard to get on here and not have any wrinkles. But when you get it all done, you will not notice the wrinkles. When everything is finished on it, you will not even notice the little wrinkles. They're just part of the decor, part of the project. Doesn't hurt you a bit. See, if you go up on that napkin, each little piece that I cut there overlaps the other one, and that allows you to lay it down. Anytime you're going around a curve, you can cut into a napkin. Anytime you're going around something, okay? Now I'm back to my next piece. It's going to go right down here, and this is one of the small ones, so I really don't have to cut into these smaller pieces with the pumpkin on them. I really don't have to cut into them. Just have to separate them as I go and get me 1 ply off of there. Ready to put the next one in. Very light touch when you're putting that Mod Podge on your second time, because that napkin is really, really delicate. See, I didn't have to put much glue under that napkin. It'll lay down if you just lay a piece of napkin out there and start working on it, you know, right from the top. It'll lay down anyway. You really don't. I just put the glue underneath it to start where I'm going to put it to hold it in place. Okay, I'm right on to my next piece now. And I'm going to cut into this one because it's a tall one. I'll lay my brush down. I buy these little scissors from Hobby Lobby, and I'm hard on them because I'm awful bad to cut wire and stuff with my scissors. So first thing you know, I've ruined a pair. Okay. Right at it here again. Hold that up. Put me some glue on there. Same thing, repeat all the way around until I get that all the way across there. Uh-oh, it slipped on me a little. Start again. Okay. Got a little bit low on that one, but it worked out. I work craft shows. Everything I do, I sell because I've been at it about close to 50 years. And I have 2 Etsy shops. And I sell on my Facebook page some, and I work a 12-day craft show in the fall. So when I'm getting ready or I'm working on things for my shop or a show, I never work on one piece at a time. I'm always working assembly line. Right now I've been working on, this is 6 tea kettles I'm working on here now. I'm down to this one, and one more is all I got left. Now that starts the second part of the napkin. And I don't really want that to be there, because it's just like that one. So I'm going to come over here and skip that piece and go back to my little pumpkins here and put them on as the next one. You can judge as you go around. You can piece them in and out of there to get it to where you like it the best. Because you're working on both sides of the napkin are the same design. I'm having trouble getting that one apart. So just work back and forth until with the pieces, until you got it for the pieces that you want. So I'm going to put this little pumpkins in here. Okay. Just enough glue to hold it down. You don't want it really, really, really wet. Okay. On to my next one. See if that one or this one is the one I want to put in there. I think it's this one. Okay. Yep, that's the one I want to put in there. This is a big one, so I'm cutting it again. Like Pete and repeat, I'm just repeating the same thing all the way around. Okay. Okay. Hold that up there a little bit. By cutting that allows those to overlap, and you get it to lay down really, really well. See, now I've just got one more piece to put in there. One more little piece. Okay, and it's going to be a pumpkin, so I'm going to have 2 pumpkins here to meet, which is no big deal. That's okay. Okay. You can piece napkins like this with anything you're working on. Those are just extra pieces. I just set them up there. They might go on some other little project of some kind. Okay. It's hard to get it up here where I know you can see it. I hope if you haven't already subscribed that you will. When you comment, make a comment on the video or put a heart on it or just a like. It helps the page to grow. I would appreciate you doing that or sharing it out. If you like what you see, share it with friends and help my YouTube channel to grow. I'd appreciate that. Okay, now I'm all the way around. And that one's wet, so I'm going to jump over to one that I already have here that's dry, and we're going to work on it. Okay. Get one of these that's finished. See, this one I've already got the napkin on, and this one is already completely finished. See, I've got this one finished except for putting a little bit of color on it with a toothbrush. I will take my toothbrush and spackle it a little bit, but otherwise it's finished. I've got little bats on here, and I've got a little trim on the thing, so that's what I'm going to show you how to do now. I'm going to take that off. Done with these. Let's get these out of my way. And I'm done with my glue. Okay, now I'm going to take a brush right here. You see where I tore these out of the napkin? I've got little places here where I don't want them to end right there where they're ending. So what I'm going to do is just extend. I'm going to go around here and paint with it using a round brush, just a round tip brush. Put it in my water, put it over here in my black paint a little bit, and pick me up some black paint because I'm going to use it like a liner brush. Right in here where these pieces come up and just like where they tore off there, I'm just going to extend that right up to a point. And bring all those things up to match each other, or to meet. It just completes the top of your piece. See how I just put those in there and made that meet? So I'm going to go around, and everywhere that I've cut them off like that, I'm going to go back in and add a little to them. Right here, I'm going to extend that one. You'll be able to see the spots where you think you might need another little streak or two. Okay, come right on around. Right here, some that are kind of cut off. Just come up, bring it up to a point. It's like a little lighthouse thing, or a Halloween looking lighthouse, and it just got kind of cut off there, so I'm just coming around and adding it to them. Right here's one. I'm going to come right out here, start, extend that out, and just bring it to a point on the top. Okay. Just anywhere I think that needs to be connected, just to make it look a little more finished. And I think that's about got them all. Okay, I've just about got that done. Now I'm going to paint me some little bats on there. And I'm going to show you. I'm going to use my same brush, put a little paint on there. My paint is real thin. I put a little water in my paint. I'm going to come in here, and on this side I'm going to pull up and out. So I'm going to come straight up and then out like a wing. I'm making his wing on the other side. I'm going to come out on the other side. See how that looks like a little bat there? So I'm doing one side up. Then I have to turn it around and do the other side. You can make them as big or as little as you want, and as many as you want. These are just quick little bats. It fills in my spaces up here. Right here. I usually have to turn it. Sometimes I can paint both sides in, but I like to turn it to get my design in there correctly. See how that just looks like a little bird flying there? A bat. Okay. And you just work your way around the tea kettle and put in as many as you want. Some of them little tiny and go down in close to your design with them. And some of them a little bigger. See, I've got bats all the way around there. And I'm just about finished with that. I've got a little piece right here on my handle that I didn't get painted before. So I'm going to go back in there and paint that down. I want my handle to be all black. I will varnish this piece. I will spray it with varnish. And then I've got a ribbon. I use a fabric ribbon that's a fall design. And I put a ribbon on each side of it, a bow on each side after it's finished. So that one, now I'm going to jump down here to my lid. And I'm going to put these little brush strokes that I like, a little, I call them question mark things. I just kind of interlock them. I'll show you on this one. See how I've put these on and just interlock those little designs around there. Any little design you can put around there. You can put dots on there. If you're not comfortable with doing that design on there or a design, just put you some dots around the top of it. Put a row or two, maybe 3 of dots, and use the end of your brush and just go around through there. These, I'm going to use a little liner brush. Come back in here and get my paint. My paint has to be real nice and thin to do this, kind of about like ink. I'm going to show you a big one here on my paper so you can see what I'm doing. I'm holding my brush and I'm going to make like a S, a mock S. Okay, then I'm going to go right in the bottom of that one and make another one. In the bottom, make another one. It's just like making a chain. I'm making one S connected into the other one. But I got to make them small enough to go around this little teapot, this lid here. So I'm coming around. They're just little interlocking mock S strokes. And when your paint gets low, you just reload your brush. These you need to practice a little bit before you go on a white surface, because you can't take them off. You'd have to paint your surface again, but you could paint this lid black and put white polka dots on it. All the way around with that. I love doing Halloween pieces, and I sell a lot of Halloween stuff. The links to my Etsy shops, one's for selling my finished thing and another one is for selling designs. There'll be a link down below and links to lots of products that I use. Not been on YouTube very long, just about 6 months. Have been painting for about 50 years. Decoupage for about 6. Decoupage years ago, but it was nothing like it is today. And I create designs for decoupage. Now I'm right back around here. This last one's usually the hardest one to get in. Okay, now see, I've went all the way around that lid. Okay. Now, the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my toothbrush. I want to finish this out. I always say when I use the toothbrush thing, I will put some white polka dots on this piece here. I'll polka dot that white, put some white dots on that. For now, I'm going to take an old toothbrush and I'm going to use my palette knife and I'm going to put a little bit of water in my black paint so that it's just about like ink. Just come over here and water it down a little bit. Okay. Then, let's see, I'm going to take my toothbrush and just load the end, the very end of it up here. Take it through my paint. Then I'm going to come in and just pull from the front of my toothbrush to the back. And just let that drop on my project. I always say this hides a multitude of sins. You can, it'll help to hide your papers where your papers join. You'll be able to just, when people look at it, they won't see those where the papers is at, because these things will just hide it all. They'll just see the overall finish when you look at it. You can do as much or as little as you like. This one's turned out to be pretty quick today. Okay, let's put that in my water, and I'll get me a little bit of white paint and put those polka dots on there if I can get my paint out of the thing here. Always gets them stopped up on the end. When you're doing dots with the end of your brush, you really need fresh paint most of the time. Now I'm just going to take the end of my brush and we'll come in here and put some polka dots on this. Just kind of scatter them here and there. Every little thing gives it another dimension of, of a finished project. So okay, I'm finished. See how it looks. We've got the design all the way around the tea kettle. And see, up here's where I told you I joined all those little pieces together when I painted those on there. Put the top on and the polka dots, and I am finished. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you'll subscribe and come back or watch other videos. We've got a lot of them on there and a lot of shorts. You all have a good day.